What sounds like a doddle is actually complicated by the safety line. Oh, God. It's funny, you get so... all the tops of your shoulders are really, really, really weak. You know, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm so mad. It's partly because this rope is so wet. Partly because I think I'm very cold. And partly because I'm fairly scared. Can you let me down, lads? On the 5th of October 1732, a flying man fell off a slack rope tied to the tower of Greenwich Church. He was dead the next day. Give us a hand. I'm so angry. I'm so bloody angry. Because I couldn't get that flipping knee over. I bet I could do it here. Give us a shove up, will you? I bet you I could. Look, everybody, this is the action that I'm supposed to be doing. You keep this leg down. I know that you keep this leg down. That leg's tucked along, and you slide along like this. One of the things that made this so hard this time, it's been pouring with rain all day, and this is so wet, but still I should have been able to get my knee.
Just think what it might have been like in the 16th century or even in the 19th, when they didn't have nylon ropes like this, but they would have just had hemp hawser-laid ropes.
It's pretty lousy in the 21st century. It's a pride thing, isn't it? I so wanted to do that. The Georgian Navy was a golden age for Britain at sea. It was a time when legends were born, from Nelson at Trafalgar to Captain Bligh and the mutiny on the Bounty. But there was no romance to life on board. Gun crews could be blown apart, powder monkeys fetched and scurried, top men went higher than they'd ever gone before, and swabbers still swabbed. No one was immune. Even officers had a tough time, particularly the very junior ones, who could be as young as 11 or 12. These were little boys from well-to-do homes. It was their first time at sea, they were queasy, they were nervous, and they had to cope with a motley crew of men who were bigger and tougher and older than they were. Welcome to the horrible world of the snotties, the midshipmen. In their smart uniform, they must have made their mums proud. But for me, it's the horrifying plunging of a child into a brutal man's world that makes midshipmen a worse job. These boys, who may never have seen the sea, had no idea what they were signing on for. I had anticipated an elegant house with guns at the windows, wrote a midshipman called Frederick Chaumier in 1806. But the shrill whistle squeaked, the voice of the boatswain and his mates rattled like thunder in my ears, the decks were dirty and slippery, the smells abominable. Tedious job, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Working in shifts day and night, the tiny midshipman had the hourly job of measuring the speed of the ship.
There we go. Let's see how you get on with that this time.
So I let it out to the first knot.
Yes. So if you hold the spindle with one hand, that's it. So it's going to run absolutely freely.
Okay.
But obviously you don't try and pull it off. The ship has got to let it take it itself to get an accurate gauge of the speed.
100, 200, 300...
and 28.
There we go. They counted actual knots on a rope as it floated away over a set period, hence the nautical speed of knots.
We can say that's about 0.8.
1, 2... God, if you were 11 trying to pull this in, you'd have a job, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Quite heavy, isn't it?
3, 4.
There's 5.
6, 7. Wow. Here it comes.
So that was 7, and the 0.8 we had.
Yeah,
and you're knackered, aren't you?
7.8, yeah. No? There's the fiddle, mate.
Yeah.
Oh dear, oh dear.
That's a young 11 or 12-year-old boy hauling on that. And it could be the middle of the night, in the dead of winter. He's freezing cold. You've got a nice pair of gloves on, I noticed. He probably skinned his fingers raw just pulling that one in.
The safety of Britain's shipping depended on captains knowing where they were. 1 in 5 of all deaths at sea were from shipwreck. Accurate longitude, or east-west position, wasn't reliable until the beginning of the 19th century. To measure how far you are from Greenwich Mean Time, you need a really accurate clock. And this was only possible when the genius John Harrison created his famous ship's chronometer. We may know about the first clock designers, but I bet you're not aware of the contribution made by my next worst job, the extraordinarily tedious task of fusee chain making. The fusee chain was vital to the accuracy of the new clock. It released the energy of the mechanism to the hands at an even pace. An essential component, but one so small and fiddly that making them was a full-time worst job. And who was the person who made the fusee chain?
The fusee chain, in this instant, was probably made by workhouse people, or children in workhouses, which is rather sad. Oh, they started about 9 to about 11, and they were mostly girls. They had good dexterity skills, they could handle small components. Here's a little chain here, and this is the size that they would make for small deck watches, for navigation again.
What was their day like?
They would start and probably do, from first sunlight, really, to right down to sunset. And they would do a complete day, a 70-hour week. And they would have 2 hours a day for a bit of going out for fresh air and 20 minutes for education.
It's got to be the worst job in watchmaking, hasn't it?
It was pretty bad, yes.
So how do you do it?
Well, I've got one here. This particular one is a chronometer chain.
Yeah.
And this is making the old-fashioned way. These are the raw materials: sheet steel, softened, ready for hardening, and wire, ready to go in.
Yeah.
We're going to stamp out the link. There you go.
Okay.
Tap that out. Just gently does it. Bit more. That's it. Lovely. Clear off the thing, and then we just push the link out, which is in there, look, in the press. There we go.
Hey, I've made this.
Made a link.
How many of these do you reckon one of these workhouse girls would have made a day?
Well, we know one lady did 150,000 in a year. So we're talking of chains millions. Right, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, steady as she goes. Yeah. If you rest the pin on the table, it acts as a sort of lock. That's it.
Cut. I'm going to go and get my glasses. Oh, I can see it. It's got holes in. Right. Well, that is slightly easier.
Okay.
Oh, it's gone, it's gone. If I was one of those little girls, I'd probably get whipped for that, wouldn't I?
I'm afraid you would have done in those days, yes.
When you touch the head of the wire, it doesn't flip it up on one side.
There's one.
Oh, triumph. Oh, great triumph. Ta-da!
Okay, now if you use the tweezers and put either side of the actual point and push down, then they lock on.
Push down with the tweezers onto